Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. Welcome to the channel, and today will be part 14 of our beginner's guide for Windows Server Active Directory, and today will be the part 2 of design and implement OU structure for Contoso Financial Services. Now let's see what we have covered in part 1. In part 1, we understood the steps in designing Active Directory for a new organization, and we saw design the AD logical structure, design the Active Directory site topology, and domain controller planning. So in this part 2, we will design and implement the OU structure. So we'll understand the business, we'll understand the physical structure of Contoso Financial Services, we will design the OU structure, and we will implement the OU structure as per the proposed design. So we will be implementing it in our Active Directory. So about Contoso, Contoso Financial Services is a multinational professional firm headquartered in Atlanta, Georgia, USA, and the company provides accounting, tax, HR, and payroll services businesses operating on international scale. So Contoso, the headquarters is present in Atlanta, Georgia, and it has 41 branch offices. So Austin, Texas, Columbus, Ohio, Portland, Oregon, Mumbai, Paris, Sydney, Warsaw, Singapore, Moscow, Geneva, Dubai, Johannesburg, and these are the 41 branch offices of Contoso Financial Services. So as you know that we came up with this forest model, that would be single forest with single domain and 41 Active Directory sites, and we have already deployed our first domain controller in the Atlanta site. So let us understand the business now. So Contoso Financial Services is into global accounting and tax services. So it provides international accounting and reporting services, international finance and accounting transformation, accounting and bookkeeping services, etc. It also provides HR and payroll services, HR administrative services, global HR and payroll consultancy services, international employee benefit services, etc. And it also provides global entity management, compliance, health check, ongoing entity management, corporate secretarial services, etc. So this is the complete portfolio of Contoso Financial Services, which operates on a global basis. So let us design the OU structure for Contoso Financial Services now. Now before designing, let us understand the OU models that can be implemented in Active Directory. So there's one model called as a functional or divisional model. So each division or function within the company will have its own OU. For example, there could be marketing OU, sales OU, research OU, and so on and so forth, HR OU. So all the objects that belong to that particular function will be placed under their respective OU. So this design model is called a functional or divisional model. Then we have another implementation model or design model for the OUs, that is object based. So in this type of OU model, you would have different OUs from different object types. For example, you could have business users, a separate OU for business users, separate OU for privileged users and computers, and so on and so forth. So this will be object oriented. The design model will be object oriented. Now the next OU model can be based on geography. So as the name suggests, these OUs are, say, created to mirror your company's business operations in different geographical locations. Say, for example, if your company operates in, say, three different locations: New York, London, and Mumbai. So you can create separate OUs for New York, London, and OU, or say Mumbai, and you can place the users and computers under those OU. So these are the three basic, say, design models, or you can say we can say design our OU structure basis on these three design models. So the OU structure depends on the below points: the line of business, physical location, ease of management, permissions, group policy, functions, object, and last but not the least, political. There are some political reasons as well, wherein we structure our OU accordingly. So let us look at the proposed OU design model for Contoso Financial Services. So it has been proposed to design an OU model based on geography and object. So there is a mixed bag of geography and object, which has been proposed model for Contoso Financial Services. So it is proposed that there will be three OUs on the domain root, namely organization, global admins, and service accounts. So these will be three OUs present on the domain root. So it will be somewhat like this. This is our contoso.com domain and the domain root. So we'll have three OUs: organization, global admins, and service accounts, which will be on the domain root. And a single OU named organization present on the domain root, which will host all the other OUs. So there will be nothing on the domain root. Everything will be say under this OU named organization. As Contoso is a global company, we will create three OUs, one for each geography, namely APAC for Asia Pacific Australian continent, EMEA, it would be Europe, Middle East, Africa, and AMER, that is American region, North and South America. So as it's a global company, we have divided the world into three parts: APAC, EMEA, and AMER, America, and we will be placing the countries under, say, APAC countries under APAC, EMEA countries under EMEA, and American countries under the American OU, and a separate OU for every country. So this is contoso.com. This is the root of contoso.com. So we have organization as an OU, which is placed under domain root, and we have APAC, EMEA, and America right below the OU named organization. And all the Asia Pacific countries like Japan, Singapore, India, say Australia, China would be placed under APAC. All Europe, Middle East, and African countries, say namely say France, UK, Qatar, South Africa, will be placed under EMEA, and all the American region countries like say US, Brazil, Canada, Argentina, Chile, Mexico will be placed under the OU named AMER, AMER. So this is the logical structure what we have proposed. So every branch will have an identical OU structure. So every branch office will have an identical OU structure. So the structure at Atlanta will be identical to the structure at Mumbai, or at Singapore, or at Sydney, or at London, or in say Paris. Separate OU for every country. Separate OU for every office with the name of the city. Separate OU for servers under that particular office. Separate OU for workstations, desktop and laptops under that particular office. separate OU for users, that is business users, vendors, IT admins, etc. Separate OU for groups, security and distribution. So these four will be under the office. Now the HR function is in Atlanta, Mumbai and London only. So we don't have HR functions across the globe for this Contoso Financial Services. So the HR operates from Atlanta, Mumbai and London only. So separate OU named HR in Atlanta, Mumbai and London offices, as the HR function operates from these locations only. So we'll not have any HR OU in any other location than Atlanta, Mumbai and London. So we have Contoso.com. This is the root of Contoso. We have organization as an OU. We have APAC, EMEA and America. And under America we have the country USA. And under USA we have Atlanta as our office. So let me continue with Atlanta now. So this is the root of Atlanta. So under Atlanta we have servers, we have workstations and we have users. So under workstations we have desktops and laptops. Under users we have business users, IT admins, vendors, etc. The users can be categorized. And again under Atlanta we'll have groups, and we have security group and we have distribution groups. So this particular structure will be identical for all the offices. Okay, so if you have Mumbai, you'll have Mumbai at the top, servers, workstations. Under workstations you have desktops, laptops, and under users, so we'll have business users, IT admins, vendors, so on and so forth. Same thing goes with our London office, same thing goes with our Sydney office, our Paris office. So this structure will be identical for every office. So let us look at the demo now. We'll go ahead and implement the OU structure as per the proposed design. So here we have logged on to the domain controller named Atlanta DC here. Now let us implement or deploy the proposed OU structure. So let me create an OU named organization on the domain root. So here we go. So as per the proposed design, there will be an organization, an OU name organization under the domain root. Now let us create 3 OUs under organization, namely APAC, EMEA and America. So you have created APAC, EMEA, and let me create one more OU, America, AMER. Now under America, let us create one more OU for the country, that is USA. And under USA we have our office, Atlanta. Now under Atlanta we'll have OU's name, let's say users. Under Atlanta we'll have servers. Again under Atlanta we'll have workstations, and again under Atlanta we will have one more OU named groups. So these are the proposed 4 OUs under our Atlanta office. So under users now we'll have We can categorize users, let's say business users, then under users we will have IT admins, then under users as well we'll have vendors. So we are keeping vendors separate from our business users or any other users. So we'll have these three types of users in our Atlanta office. Now we'll have one more OU under Atlanta, and that would be HR. Our HR works, HR are under Atlanta. So they are not the part of users, but they will be a separate OU for HR function. So we have three categories of users in Atlanta. Some are business users, some are IT admins, and some are vendors. Now workstations will have desktops, and we'll also have laptops. So all the Atlanta desktops and laptops will be under these OUs. So it will be very easy for the administrators to manage the resources over here. Let's talk about groups now. So we have two types of groups: security, and we have distribution. So we have created the structure for our Atlanta office. So this structure will be identical for, let's say, all the offices except this HR OU. This will be identical for all the offices. So this is how we create our Active Directory structure, or we have deployed the Active Directory structure as per our proposed design. So let's summarize what we have done today. So we understood Contoso Financial Services. We saw the company and the line of business. We saw the physical presence of the company. We saw the OU models that can be implemented in Active Directory, and we selected geography and object as our design model for OU. We proposed OU design model for Contoso Financial Services, and we deployed the proposed OU model. So this was end of part 14. Hope you have enjoyed today's session, and in our next part, that is part 15, now we have an Active Directory domain named contoso.com with OU structure in place. So in part 15 we are going to configure an additional domain controller for contoso.com domain. So this will be the option we will be selecting, that is add a new domain controller to an existing domain. So thank you everyone for joining today's session. If you think this channel is helping you to learn anything new, please share and subscribe it with your technical community, and enjoy your day.